heart attack. Fast, fatal, heart impact. Past painful scars, in fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact, don't ask, grab reactions, jacked, attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose. Pick a new submerged juice. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now. Y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we do begin, a lot of things have been happening. Now, in the last part, we had Izuku Midoriya, who, he discovered that Overhaul, he was keeping a secret. Overhaul, he kept Eri out of the limelight for Deku. And Deku, whenever he heard from Nejire after taking down a multitude of cops and pros, that they're here to try and save a girl from being experimented on, Deku, he kind of lost his temper. And he ripped off Overhaul's arms and proceeded to almost beat him to death with his bare hands, without super strength, might I add. Now, Overhaul, yeah. Deku, he stole his quirk, used it to kill Dabi, then he killed Mr. Compress, and Toko was taken down by Ochako. Now, Deku stole Dabi's and Compress's ability, and right now he's actually intrigued. This firepower, it's strong as hell, but at the same time, it won't last. And Deku is a bit saddened by that. There are many quirks here he got today. In fact, he got 5 very powerful abilities. And Deku, he was actually intrigued. Or not 5, 6 powerful abilities. And Deku was actually very intrigued. Especially because whenever Tsunade looked into the future, he was trying to be careful here. If he does a certain action, he won't be able to get the desired outcome. And after Mirio lost his ability, Deku, he ran off with Eri. Deku, him and his group, the small group that they are, managed to do so much here. They took out an entire operation of pros. They got the jump on him. And Deku, he was ruthless. He was, well, psychotic in rage. Night thought he lost his mind in anger. But then, he was kind. He was caring. He was worried. And Night, he thought he may have saw a glimpse of Izuku Midoriya before the committee got to him. And he was taken aback. The 3 took care of Eri. They were gentle, they were calm. They did everything that pros are supposed to do in the situation to keep somebody calm, keep someone from going hysterical. And Night, he thought he got it for a second. Deku's claims of the committee, basically brainwashing them and using them as soldiers to commit these acts, it makes a little bit more sense when he thinks about it. Deku's ability is the ability to copy. If he can take on quirks, everything he's seen already today that Deku did, he saw multiple abilities on display. Deku even took his own. And that worries him. Because right now he's actually curious if Eri is safe. And while that's all happening, there actually is with the League of Villains. Overhaul, he's in custody. So is Himiko Toga. And 2 of the members of the League of Villains are dead. And that is on public file. And Sir Night-Eye, he even did say out loud, Izuku Midoriya was here today. And the committee, the moment they immediately heard that and jumped on it to call Sir Night-Eye, Night-Eye, he started to understand a lot more. And he needed to get into contact with somebody very, very close. He already knew he was going to call them. But this being another matter that he's supposed to discuss, does change it a bit. And right now, Sir Night-Eye, he does somewhat answer with a simple, "Hello, Toshi." Now, we do actually cut over to Deku. It's been a few days since the incident. Deku, he's changed his hair color, and Ochako and Mizuki, they've dyed their hair again. And right now Deku, he's currently standing in a pet store, as there is Ochako. Her hair is pink, Deku's is white. And Deku, he currently is looking around. As right now, he does pick up a container full of a little bit of bugs. And he does ask Ochako if they should get more than this for right now. Uh, I don't know. Those things are gross. You don't like them? Deku holding out forwards, a bit more towards her. And right now Deku, he actually does have his hand outstretched as Ochako does try to get away, and tell him to stop. Now, Deku, he actually gets Deku pull the container away, him actually pulling Ochako's hand, saying that he's just joking with her. I get it, but those things are gross. There's so many bugs. They remind me of that one guy from UA. Right. What was his quirk again? I don't know. Ugh. Ooh. I remember a story I heard someone say. They thought he was using... They had a theory that he'd use his quirk to summon bugs. Ugh. Yeah, right? Can you just imagine? Thousands of those little things crawling all around you and over you? That would give me nightmares. Izuku, what are you thinking of? That quirk could be useful for something. Are you just thinking of the committee now? No? You hesitated there for a second? Maybe. It could be useful. I'll give you that. But if you use it that way, I don't want to be in the room. Especially if you use man-eating creatures. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe. Okay, anyways. The bugs? Right. Maybe another container? Now, they could just grab another one. And right now, he actually trying to think. Before actually grabbing a third one, and going to tell Ochako, this one's for him to practice with. And Ochako just goes a nod. As Deku does go to Turkey stand back up, and the two do pay for the bugs. Now, Deku, he actually is quite intrigued. As right now, he does have a bag in his left hand, and Ochako is holding his right hand. The two were walking down the street, and many people, they've been talking about what's been going on with the heroes and the villains. Apparently, UA finally shut down. That's what people are still talking about. And then there's actually the fact that UA, their heroes, are still trying to find the missing UA students. All for One made it quite simple. He gave a public message. He wants Izuku Midoriya to come face him. He wants him to come find him. He wants to meet. All he needs to do is come to this location, and he'll portal in. The two will have a discussion. Otherwise, the UA students will die. And Deku, he had quite simply just one little reaction. Bakugo and him, they were not really friends the last time they saw each other. Bakugo was an arrogant dick. And Deku, he decided that this matter was one that the pros could handle. He wasn't going to put himself on the line for UA. Because the committee, they could be right there to arrest him. And what would they do? Kill him? Right. They can't do shit. He's practically untouchable now. But there is one thing he is lacking. A particular quirk that if he does actually head into the situation, he can take. In fact, what was it? What was the hero group called? He heard they were in the incident report for UA. The something. Did it start with a W? Yeah, it started with a W, right? Now, Deku, he actually is a bit annoyed. And right now, they're actually Ochako to squeeze his hand. him actually somewhat going to go from wandering off in his thoughts to looking back forwards. Huh? You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. Just just thinking. I know. I noticed. So, exactly what are Aries' abilities? Um, it's weird. Her power and mine, we share similarities in the fact that it's energy, requirement, sort of. But that's the only similarity we do seem to share. She can manipulate the organic structure of matter, but that's it. Um, right. In a less technical term, she can turn things into different stages of their life cycle. If she wanted to, she can de-age me to a baby, or theoretically to a point where I would be before I was even even conceived or really even alive. She can rewind you out of existence. Uh, Apparently she did that to her dad. Right. Right, that makes a lot more sense. I was just confused. Did she just break him down into atoms or no? No blood, no anything. She just said he just dropped. Like a disappearing act, like a ghost phasing through clothes. Huh. Yeah, that's just the thing though. I don't want to push her and emotionally stress her though. Well, that's to be expected though. She's been through a lot. She has. I I'm worried though that she might turn out to be a villain. Well, she's a good kid. She doesn't want to hurt people. And besides, we didn't turn out to be villains, did we? No, we didn't. But then again, we're not heroes either. Right, right. So, about that. Now, the two do Doki walk into a building, and they actually do go to walk into an apartment. And right now, after the two do walk in, there actually is the large hotel room, where Eri is currently sitting down and eating something from a bowl. And Deku, he does ask Eri if she wants to still practice with her quirk today. And Eri does somewhat go to turn and look towards Deku, her with noodles sticking out of her mouth, as Deku does tell her to have some courtesy, or at least proper manners, while eating. And Eri does somewhat go to nod before going to Doki turn, and start to at least, well, chew her food, and then to answer Deku, after she does clean her plate. Now, she does ask if she can actually take a break for that, or from that. And Deku does look at her, saying that that's okay. However, her ability, how is it feeling today? And she actually does at least get to someone explain. Her power feels okay. It doesn't feel like it's acting up, but trying to use it is still scary. And Deku actually does walk over, bending down and telling Eri that he does understand, before actually pulling out one of the containers, telling her to look at how wicked these things look. And Eri does somewhat go to laugh and somewhat point to the bugs, talking about how they look so gross. Now, they just smile before going to get back up, him walking over and setting the bag on the counter. As I know Deku, he does ask Mizuki if she's still here. And she actually just come walking out of the bathroom, talking about, yeah, she's still here. Her actually still drying her hair. Hmm? Oh. So, what now? Hmm? Um, well, I needed to talk a bit more with somebody because I have a lead. You have a lead? Yeah. I mean, it's not exactly what we want, but it's a good car. Is it Tartarus grade? I mean, yes, but you're gonna just give it a chance whenever we see it. Uh-huh. Okay. Um, shit. Who's gonna stay here with Eri? Now, Ochako actually just won't say she can do that, and Deku does look towards her. To which she has to talk about how she actually need to get a few things done, and she was going to be looking online for a few different things. In fact, she can actually look into, well, something that she's been meaning to do for a minute. Her and Eri can go out later. And Eri, she does need to actually pick up a few more, you know, pieces of clothing. Her wardrobe is still limited at the moment. And Deku doesn't go to agree, as right now, Deku and Mizuki do get to leave the hotel room. And Ochako does sit down with Eri, and the two do watch TV or watch television. Now, Deku, him and Mizuki, they head out, and right now they do leave and go somewhere. Right now, the place is 2 hours away, and it seems like it's in the middle of nowhere. However, that is until you find a gas station. Now, the two do head into the gas station, and right now, the clerk behind the counter, he does stand there. Him turning his head, asking the two exactly what are they here for. Gas, or are they here because they know something about Rando? Now, Deku, he does want to look towards Mizuki. Mizuki does talk about how she's not actually here for Rando. She's here because she heard something good about Max. And right now, the man, he actually just goes on smile before going to get out from behind the counter. Him saying it's nice to have a paying customer. Before he actually going to walk over to the door and flip the sign to closed. Now, he does actually tell the two to follow him, if they would. Now, the man, he actually just going to walk behind and out into a garage. And the two, they do follow the man. Whoever they are in the garage, it does look a bit old. It's beaten up and it's clearly shown that it's had years on it. And Deku, he does watch the man actually go to directly bring his hand up and to an area. Him holding it out as the ground is directly going to slide back and open. And Deku, he's intrigued. Now, the man, he actually does watch these two walk in. Him actually going to close the hole behind him as they walk underground. And the man tells the two about exactly what he has for them in store today. So what is it? Well, that's the thing. I've been holding on to this one for a while. Not many people want it because it used to be, what's the best phrase for it? Street legal, I guess. Many people don't want cars like this that are used, you could say. Operations, they're harder to handle. People want something untraceable, and that's exactly what I give them. However, in very rare instances do I give them vehicles like this. Now, Deku, he actually just follow. The three head down 50 to 60 steps, and Deku, he actually just look around to see the area. It's been excavated. And Deku does ask about this, and the man does tell him he's been running this place for years, and right now, they are going to see a thing of beauty. It's one of his finer works, actually. And, well, he'd have it for himself, but the thing cost millions. And Deku, hearing that word, does somewhat jump. Millions. Millions for what? Now, the two do follow the man. As after they get to an area, the man actually does have to open the wall, and Deku does currently see it. As right now, he stares at a beautiful, glorious creation. Now, Deku looks at the car. It's clean, it's nice, it's... Whoa. Get the reaction a lot. Now, Deku just walk over, and the man, he actually starts to talk. Bulletproof tires, reinforced to hell suspension. The frame has been totally modified and replaced with more durable metal. In fact, it's got titanium. The entire thing, it's solid, solid to hell, platinum. And all of it has been redesigned in a way to make it what exactly they're looking for. Hell, it's lighter, but also heavier. Then again, that's what they get for having the platinum instead of the titanium. And while there are certain alloys mixed in to protect the engine, that sort of is another thing that they have to talk about. Now, Deku just walked to the front, him bringing his hand onto the car and touching the paint. The man telling him, hands off. And Deku just tell the man, he just wants to test something. Deku actually turning his arm into metal. And now Deku just go to Rookie, pull it backwards, and the man just watch that. Oh. Now, Deku just talk about it. Titanium, iron, mix of platinum. It's good metals. How'd you know about all that? Call it a quirk. Deku shifting his hand back and telling the man. He likes it. Huh. You ain't seen nothing yet. Now, the man pops the hood. And Deku, he does currently get the rundown. And the rundown, it goes as followed, but I'll break it down into a simple little bit of words. If this car was made out of normal shit, this bitch would fly. Now, that's basically what Deku was told. After hearing the rundown about how good the engine is, how reliable it is, and how this shit can probably outrun All Might. And Deku, yeah. The sales pitch is good. And the man has actually walked them through after getting inside the car and showing them a few things. Him actually going to Dookie drive this thing out of here, as the two do fly down the highway at over 100 miles. And after they do turn the car back around, they do actually have where the guy just allow them to drive it once. Because putting too many miles on it before they buy it, he doesn't really want to do that. Now, the two are both surprised. The vehicle's good. It's strong. And whenever Deku does ask the guy about how exactly bulletproof the glass might be, the guy does one simple thing. He tells Deku to punch it. And Deku, he thinks that that's a bad idea. And the guy does explain. How about this? If he breaks the windshield, the car is free. And Deku does look at the guy. The guy is underestimating him. And Deku does tell him that the car would be free if he does that. And the man is going to want to confirm this. That's what he said. Deku turning, and just doing one thing, bringing his hand onto the windshield, and starting to put pressure down. And the man is watch. As whenever Deku started cracking the windshield without even putting his palm on it, the guy does start to sweat. And Deku does tell the man, he really does need to look into his customers a bit more. And the guy does stare at Deku. As Deku does put down a lot more pressure, and the windshield does crack more. And the guy does watch. Before Deku does tell the man, pulling his hand backwards, replace the glass or fix it, because he could break it right now if he wanted to. He's just as strong as All Might. Now, the guy, yeah, he's gonna get that done real quick. So, he'd rather just, not give this shit away. Now, the guy, he actually does talk about how exactly things will be, and if they do want anything else modified on the vehicle before he does give it to them. And they just try to at least ask about weapon system. And the guy does at least clarify. This thing doesn't really have weapons on it, but it does have self-defense stuff on it. And Deku, he does ask questions about it, and the guy does somewhat break it down. It has rear-end turrets. It has oil slicks. It has caltrops in it, and if they wanted to, he could put a missile system in it. And Deku does talk about how that's not really what they want. And the guy, he does understand. And the two, they actually look at the guy, as they do at least drop him a solid 3 million, before they do drive away with the vehicle. And the guy, he's not going to complain, because either he gives it away for free, or he gives it away with a hefty discount. Now, Deku and Ochako, or Mizuki, they currently are driving. And Deku, he actually gets the car up to 100 in less than a minute. And he's actually very happy with this. As right now the two, they're currently flying on the highway fast. And Deku, he's already fast over 150. And Mizuki, she's sitting there asking Deku if he really should be doing that here. And Deku, he actually would slow down after the two do get a lot closer to the city, where people, they do start to pop up. And Deku does talk about how he really likes this. Right? It's fun. Huh. Jesus. So, this is what we got. Right. How bulletproof were the windows? Well, they're good. That's what I'll tell you. I don't know the best way to measure it, but I think 5, 7% of my strength could break them. I don't exactly know. I don't really measure my power that way. Right. Either you can punch through something or you can't. Yeah. But I think normally I wouldn't be able to break them, so that is good. That means that they could withstand a 50 cal. Maybe I have to ask a question about that. Now, Mizuki does talk about it. She was guaranteed the glass was nearly indestructible. And Deku does clarify, emphasis on nearly. To which she would go to someone agree. He's right. And the two, they do continue to drive. And right now, Deku, he does head back into the city. But while that's all going on, we do actually currently have over at UA. Teachers are still here. And right now, a lot of people, they're talking back and forth. They want to understand exactly where Night Eye, he's coming from. They have to get their students back. Nothing has been found, nothing has been done, and so far, their investigation has not shown shit. They are getting frustrated. And Night Eye, he actually is annoyed with Toshinori for a few simple reasons. His successor, he met them and thought they could be a good candidate for a hero. He recommended somebody for One for All, and Toshi flat out ignored him. He believed he had time. He believed he could handle doing this on his own. And Night Eye, he has been losing his mind. He saw the future change once over 10 years ago, and he was surprised by it, to say the least. Then he saw the future change again. What was that? Over a year ago? Then he saw the future change again. And that was months ago. He saw the future change again. And that? You want to know how long ago that was? A few days ago. Now, Night Eye lets loose on All Might, trying to talk about how he's been irresponsible with that power he was tasked with keeping safe, that he was supposed to use to destroy All for One. And now look at what's going on. He picked the wrong successor. His successor currently doesn't even want to be a pro anymore. His successor needs to give somebody else that power, because he's walking away from being a hero. Now, All Might, he does want to hold his head down. He understands. He's failed UA. I mean, he thought he could be a teacher, and he thought that shit would be easy. But his own past mistakes came back to haunt him in the worst possible way. And that's just the thing. UA students are in danger. They're going to either be killed or, well, made examples of. And right now the public, they're not really that fond of what UA's been doing. UA might have to permanently shut down. And that is a statement they don't really want to give. One of the top hero schools with All Might as a teacher, they mess up because All Might couldn't kill a villain. Because All Might, he fucked up. I mean, he needs to solve all his issues. figure this out. And Night Eye, he does have one idea. All Might needs to talk to his successor. If they're gonna give up on being a hero, then he needs to hand Mirio One for All. Give Mirio the power to take on All for One, to save his students. Then they can introduce Mirio as the next symbol of peace, someone to take All Might's place. Otherwise, what might happen after that could be chaos. The Hero Committee, they are still worried. And he's still worried about what the hell happened with Izuku Midoriya. Now, Nezu, he does actually somewhat could ask Nezu does could ask Nezu. That's what I was about to fucking say. Nezu does ask Sir Night-Eye exactly about that situation. And Night-Eye would go to explain. Deku seemed very genuine in his actions, very genuine in his motivations. All three of them did. What he saw there wasn't some psycho, wasn't somebody out there for just needless violence. Deku was motivated by a rage he had for years, and emotions he's felt for years. In fact, looking back on everything, even the reports from the USJ, they've never had an encounter or reaction from Deku like that before. That was pure rage. Deku had his childhood taken from him, and so did Eri. She was subjected to horrible things for someone so young, and so was Izuku. So were the other people there, and yet they still showed kindness and sympathy to somebody as innocent as her. But that's just it. The Hero Committee, they haven't even tried giving statements about who these people are. All they've ever said is they're villains and they're connected to these things, which they haven't even officially connected Izuku to the hero killer stain with their investigation, because they theorized he was in a different city at the time. The committee clearly isn't working in their best interest anymore, and they need a reform. The committee needs to step down and back away. Let the heroes try and solve their own crisis. Because their methods, they have been too extreme in the past. And right now he's pretty sure the committee, they would murder a pro for coming public with information going against them. Now, Nezu actually is going to quickly point out. He does agree with Sir Night-Eye, and a lot of the teachers here are stunned. The heroes are about to try and go against the committee, and that's going to cause chaos. The heroes might have to become vigilantes to solve this issue with the committee, right? Right now, that's what people are misinterpreting. And they're worried about that. They've done this job for over a decade. And right now, what they're hearing, the committee's gone bad. Oh. Fuck. Now, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part. And Deku finally got the fucking car. I know a lot of people were worried about Deku having it. He does.